It's a new month, and that means a new Booktuber recommendation. Hi friends, welcome back to Pages in Chaos, and we are on round 5 of I choose a booktuber to recommend me a book that I read each month. And I am so excited because I am loving this series so far. So it is the month of June, and who did I reach out to recommend me a book? Well, for this month, I reached out to Sarah at Sarah's Nightstand, and I've been following her for a really long time. I got a chance to meet Sarah in person. She is just such a lovely person, and I was so excited to get a book recommendation. So the book that she recommended was The House on the Cerulean Sea by T.G. Klune. Now, this was a book that was on my shelf, and I was debating going back and forth of whether or not I actually was going to pick this up. I've heard so many mixed reviews with this book, and I was like this close to unhauling it and saying, like, if I ever had an interest in picking this back up, I'll just get it from the library. And sure enough, Sarah snuck a peek at my Goodreads, or I don't know, maybe she watched my video and said that I had to read it before I got rid of it. But either way, this was the book that Sarah has recommended. I'm not gonna lie, I really didn't know much about the plot about this, except that I bought it and picked it up when everybody was reading it and everybody loved it. So this starts off with Linus, who is a caseworker in the charge of magical youth, and he basically gets a task or a very high-end mission where he has to go to this orphanage because there are children there that quite possibly could be so dangerous and so magical that they bring an end to the world. So he now has to go and figure out what the deal is with these kids at this orphanage. And he arrives on, I guess, the Cerulean Sea Islands, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't really say in the background, but, you know, context clues, right? But anyway, so he meets Arthur, who is in charge of the orphanage, and basically he has said that he is going to protect these kids at all costs, even if that means bringing an end to the world, or it says exposing some secret. So this does seem interesting, and before I even read like the Goodreads reviews, I immediately, when I read the synopsis, thought, oh, Umbrella Academy. I never read those books, that series, but I did watch the Netflix show up until the last season. I do have to watch the last season, but basically that's what it feels like, that premise, and I loved that show on Netflix. So I guess, Sarah, we'll see if this lives up to the hype, if I made a good choice keeping it and following your recommendation. So if you've been following along, you know that I'll do a little reading update every time I sit down to read the book and I get to some, you know, interesting details and shocks and things like that. So I'm going to continue to do that, and I'll make sure to post that later on this month. And if you have read this book, let me know. Does it live up to the hype? Did Sarah make a good recommendation? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you just want to let me know that you were here, but you really don't feel like commenting, then leave an ocean emoji down in the comments. Well, that's all I have for today. Bye.